Hey, what's up guys, Darth Rookie here giving you yet another head-to-head games. So recently, I made a podcast with Milius on Shadow of Mordor. If you haven't seen it then, go check it out. Anyways, since release a lot of people have said it looks like Assassin's Creed. So today we're going to put Assassin's Creed Unity and Shadow of Mordor head-to-head to see how similar they are and which one is best. So jumping right in guys, we're going to try and start off with Assassin's Creed Unity. Now this game, as it is not out, a lot of it will just be trailer speculation, but that makes it all the more fun when I'm wrong and you guys are all angry. Seriously though, I chose Assassin's Creed because I wanted it to be more of a next-gen battle, and Black Flag, in my opinion, just isn't good enough to compete with next-gen games. And all the other ones, as good as they are just a little bit too outdated to be compared to. I mean, I know Altair was supposed to be the best assassin ever and stuff, but I'm gonna take a leap of faith and hope that these assassins are even better. So in Assassin's Creed Unity, you play as the character Arno Dorian, who is of French origin, born in Versailles. Dorian's father just so happened to be an assassin, unlike any other assassins that we know, who was killed, unlike any assassins we know, and then he was adopted into a family of Templars, and the father just so happened to be the Grand Templar. So we can all kind of see where this is going now, but still, for anyone that can't, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you some of what's going to happen in the story. So yes, I know I've already told you some of what's happened in the story, so anyone that did want to skip that spoiler alert, well, fuck you, because I'm not re-editing it. So, the Grand Templar Master guy is also murdered, and Dorian blames himself for it and goes like no other assassin ever on a quest for redemption, bringing him to the Assassins, somehow joining the Templars and Assassins. And the love interest in this game is really different, because it's actually the daughter of the Grand Master that adopted him. So it's not incest, but it's just really, really weird. So moving off of storyline of Assassin's Creed Unity and moving into gameplay, the difference between Assassin's Creed Unity, what I personally think is the main thing, and other Assassin's Creed, other than having the traditional regular secret knife and having the new knife again like usual, you know, which isn't really a big surprise, is that you now have a skill set. Wait, you were saying multiplayer? Oh right, yeah, multiplayer. We'll come on to that later. But either way, you have a skill set in Assassin's Creed, rather than starting off as being an absolute beast straight away and just being taught the tutorial controls, blah 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 blah. Now you can upgrade your range, your health, your melee combat, and all this other good jazz. And they've tried to add as much customization as they can into the Assassin's Creed games, as they've said. As you can see right there on screen, it's showing you the ranged, and I don't think it goes into any of the other ones, but it shows you some of the ranged upgrades that you can get later on in the game. And they were saying how they were trying to add customization with more armor differences and stuff like that, and you can, as you upgrade your health, nothing happens other than more health. But if you want heavier armor, then you're slowed down. Kind of like they did that a little bit with the other Assassin's Creed with the weapons, but they've added more choices for weapons and stuff than ever. They've got skills now, and it just allows for a wider variety of single-player gameplay. Okay guys, now before you punch a computer screen because I've not said multiplayer and I've held it behind the other parts of gameplay, and not that it's the biggest change, even though it clearly is, I left it behind on purpose because the co-op missions kind of like follow on from single player. All the missions, as far as I know, can be played in co-op, and as far as I know, there's no free roam multiplayer, which is a massive disappointment obviously, because that's what we all want. I mean, they've given us some multiplayer, and they gave us some multiplayer before, but it seems like they're always holding back on us, in my opinion. Either way, the reason they tie in on each other is because when you do go into the multiplayer, you actually carry over your skills, your weapons, your disguise, your armor, all of that cool jazz, blah 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 blah. And the way they managed to tie this in is every mission you arrive at your location to start the mission, it will say public game, private game, and single player. So you can choose to play any one of the missions as single player, or you can choose to play it as a public game because your friends aren't online or you're lonely, like me. I didn't just say that. You didn't just hear anything. Either way, I think this feature is good because instead of having to like go around and gain assassins and build your group up like you would usually, your friends can now actually act as the assassins that you would usually go and recruit in your single player, which obviously was shown off in the at E3. But I just think it's really good that they, instead of making a second campaign, which some people may have liked for multiplayer, that they actually added it into the single player as well. I mean, it'd be nice if they did make both missions like separate missions where it's just, oh yeah, go have fun, fight the NPCs, maybe like rounds, survival rounds. I think that would be a kind of cool feature as well. But obviously what we all wanted was either proper storyline missions like this, and free roam multiplayer. I'm just saying, everyone loves a good bit of free roam multiplayer. GTA 5 worked out brilliantly, and well, Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, if they added a few features here and there, could definitely work well as well. So guys, moving on to Shadow of Mordor, we're going to start off with gameplay of this game and then move on to storyline. So, the combat in this game is not, in my opinion, that much like Assassin's Creed. I would more compare it to Batman and the Arkham games, which the developers themselves did admit they were trying to not copy but imitate. And I do believe that they've imitated and improved on it quite well, because they've had other elements that they could add to it because of the way that the game plays with the Wraith and the human. So here at first, you're going to see some of the human combat, and basically how it's just basic parry and knockdown, and when they're down you get to do some finishes. Also, if you see in the left, you have a combo bar, and when it's red, that means that you have your full-on finisher, which means you can just outright kill an enemy like that at any point, and that is depending on how upgraded you are. When you get to an 8 to 5 hit combo or something like that. And yeah, so that's like Batman, where you can build up your combos and then you get a special move going and then you wreck a specific guy that you want. But with the Wraith powers, on the other hand, it adds a whole nother element of stealth to the game that that Assassin's Creed or Batman Arkham Asylum, in my opinion, have anything like that going for it. But the stealth elements that they do have, some of them will be the same as Assassin's Creed, as will some of the parkour elements, since Assassin's Creed is pretty much the best parkour and stealth game we have at the moment. And I don't know really how else people expect someone to climb a wall, or how else people expect people to hide in bushes. Fair enough though that there are random little ropes hanging from buildings that he can run across, and that is the only similarity that they didn't have to put in, but is just for ease of running around and moving around. So I do feel like that was still necessary, and that they're not trying to copy Assassin's Creed in that element. So like I was saying guys, in my opinion, the Wraith combat adds a element to the fight, as you can see, that none of them have in their game really. I mean, I haven't seen Batman or Assassin's Creed teleport around as a ghost dude who walked through people, chopping off people's heads. The level of violence in this game is definitely higher. And also, as you can see now, this guy is branding people and actually forcing them to join his side mid-combat. Personally, I think that's a very new feature that I don't recognise in any of the other games. Sure, you can have allies you can call in Assassin's Creed, but in Shadow of Mordor, you can actually make your enemies, who all have their own personalities and different classes, like Assassin's Creed and any other fighting game though, become your side. Which leads me on to my next subject of the Nemesis System. Okay, because Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis System is so in-depth and stuff, I'm going to have to try and keep this short and sweet. Basically, the Nemesis System is it's a way of every time you get killed by an enemy, they become a unique enemy in your game with unique fears and an amount of strength, and they will rank up within the ranks as well. You can choose to either kill them or to make them one of your war chiefs as well. Most people decide to kill them because they've been killed by them, and they're like, oh, revenge, honor and stuff. But not all the orcs in Nemesis System are unique. I believe all the original orcs you start out with your captains and war chiefs will always be the same for everyone, which kind of makes sense to the storyline as well. On the screen you can see right now is Ratbag, which is the only orc that you don't actually have to forcefully manipulate to become on your side, because he's just that great of a guy. So like I said guys, I'm going to try and keep the Shadow of Mordor one short and simple because I did do a podcast on it. Go view that video if you want to see it more in depth. But the storyline of this game, which I will go to a bit of depth, basically follows Talion, whose wife and family are killed by, oh yeah, by the way, spoiler alert, a little bit late, but it's in there. But his wife and family are killed by Sauron's Black Hand with hammer as a blood sacrifice to try and bring back your Wraith, who's Celebrimbor, who crafted the Rings of Power. Obviously Celebrimbor does come back, but instead of joining with the Black Hand and making some more rings and stuff, he actually joins to you and decides to try and take out the Black Hand, because the Black Hand also, well actually Sauron deceived him and killed his whole family with this really nice hammer that he gave to him to craft the rings with. So obviously he wants revenge as well. I don't really know why Sauron's thinking plan was going like, oh yeah, I'll just get this guy who clearly doesn't like me, who tried to kill me, and bring him back to life and be like, yeah, he'll help me out, even though he could have the powers of the rings and everything. Does that make sense? Well done Sauron for being a clever cookie. So guys, on that note, I'm going to start to bring this episode to an end here. I can see why people think that Assassin's Creed, Shadow of Mordor is copying Assassin's Creed, but I think that the gaming community itself has just gotten too used to complaining over games not being original enough, and I think that it is really original. I mean, sure, there's going to be overlapping of gameplay because we liked Assassin's Creed, we liked Batman Arkham Asylum. The developers were clever enough to see that, bring it together, and add extra elements to it that those games probably wouldn't have been able to add to them because of storyline purposes. So I actually commend the creators of the game of Shadow of Mordor for being brave enough to take the content from these two games and add it into an even better game. But, you know, all games have improvements. Like Assassin's Creed, they've improved by adding the multiplayer, and now Shadow of Mordor need to improve by adding multiplayer. So leave your comment in the description on what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Darth Cricket, and I'll see you guys in the next video.